VFC 55 from the Kansas Expocentre in Topeka, Kansas. Tonight's Victory Post-Fight Breakdown is brought to you by Alienware, the ultimate gaming experience. With Joe Wilk, I'm Sean Wheelock. Joe, an outstanding end to a great 2016 for Victory.
Yeah, they weren't all finishes tonight, surprisingly enough. We've gotten used to that in the VFC, but the decisions were exciting fights as well, Sean.
We did get a finish in our opening bout of the night. We began in the welterweight division. Kenny Lisea versus Gary Westfall.
This fight was an interesting one. Kenny Lisea was able to corner Gary Westfall into the corner here in the VFC square, landed some big strikes. We ended up on the ground where Lisea had a choke. As Westfall gave a thumbs up to the referee, actually, he fell asleep. First time I've seen that in MMA.
Technical submission win, round number 1 for Kenny Lisea. Next up, flyweights. These two 125-pounders did not disappoint. Joey Deal facing Kevin Gray.
Joey Deal did a great job of using his boxing. He was landing good strikes on the feet. Kevin Gray, though, is just such a physical fighter. He said he feels he's the strongest 125er in the world. It looked like it. He slammed Deal on his head a couple times, as we'll see here. Joey Deal had some great submission attempts, but wasn't able to lock anything on. One of our few decisions that we see here in the Victory Square, but an exciting fight nonetheless.
Pro MMA win number 8 for Kevin Gray. Next up, featherweights. Two undefeated fighters early in their respective pro MMA careers. Haji versus Alex McGowan.
Yeah, and both these guys had really strong amateur careers as well. They really put it on the line tonight. Haji looked flashy at times, had his hands behind his back, was dropping his hands low. Alex McGowan didn't see to let that phase him, but he just couldn't get the timing down of Haji. Haji with a big win by decision in the VFC square.
Haji now 4-0 in his pro MMA career. On then to a fight at the catchweight of 160 pounds, Trey Ogden versus Josh Pfeiffer.
A great matchup here by Ryan Stoddard in the Victory Fighting Championship. Two really tough jiu-jitsu fighters, pretty even on the feet in this one, but they both had a lot of good exchanges, both able to get reversals. Trey Ogden, though, was able to land more strikes from the top, did more damage, and ultimately was able to secure the decision. Unanimous on 2 cards, 29-28 by one judge.
Our co-main event of the evening, at stake Victory's heavyweight championship. Derrick Bohai versus the reigning and defending champion, Daniel Gallagher.
These big boys didn't waste any time. They were mixing it up right from the bell. Derrick Bohai really got in the face of Daniel Gallagher, was landing several shots up against the cage, but Daniel Gallagher decided to open up, let loose with a couple of his own shots, was able to land a couple really solid uppercuts, which rocked Derrick Bohai, followed him to the ground, finished with strikes, retains his heavyweight title, Big Kansas, Daniel Gallagher.
And finally, our main event of the evening in the welterweight division, a rematch of a quality fight from VFC 47 in January, Dakota Cochrane versus Jake Lindsay.
This fight was a dog fight the first time around, back and forth. But this time it was much closer, a much quicker finish by Dakota Cochrane. Was able to get the win by submission early in the first round.
Dakota Cochrane now victorious in 9 of his last 10 bouts, and again, he defeated Jake Lindsay by 3rd round submission in January when by his own admittance, he was losing that fight. A dominant performance tonight as he gets the 1st round submission.
Yeah, that's right. Same result at the end of the fight, just a much different opening to the fight. Jake Lindsay, tough as they ever come, but Dakota had his number tonight.
This has been the debut year for VFC on UFC Fight Pass. Joe, the fights truly did not disappoint. Joe and I will see you back for Victory on UFC Fight Pass in 2017.